This week on the Pioneer Football League Sportscenter, we have our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We had a ton of fun with our inductees: Matt Otero, Shamel Jackson, Jay Carter, Dejon Wiggins, and Raphael Trammell. Congratulations to those guys. Pioneer Sportscenter right now.
Pioneer League, the Pioneer League, Pioneer League. Yeah, bigger, faster, stronger, yeah, I'm all of that. And you can say I'm clutch where the fourth quarter at. I know you ride the bench, but I'ma start a scrap. I put a helmet or a shoulder on your quarterback. On the field, moving faster than your average. I swear it's all I do, cause they say winning is a habit. Blood, sweat, and tears all week during practice. And catch me on the weekend when I turn into a savage. I got my back, I got your back, we take over the town. I heard the hard work pays, I got the memo now. Never dolo, I put faith in my team. Play a part, know your role while we working them schemes. All we got is each other, hard work in the dream. Go hard for the squad in the Pioneer League.
So this week we had a lot of fun recognizing the Pioneer Football League pioneers, so to speak, those that were most instrumental in getting the Pioneer League off the ground, as we had our first class for the Pioneer Football League Hall of Fame. Let's check out the highlights from our event.
I know what it feels like to be undefeated against the two Hall of Famers. Hall of Famer, a young man who achieved much success. All 3 years that he played with the Pioneer Football League, got to the championship game, winning 2 out of the 3. The leader of a very fine organization. This young man embodied what the Pioneer Football League is about. When it comes down to it, when you see him play, his work speaks volumes. But when you actually speak to him and actually have a conversation with him, you can actually tell that the young man is even more dynamic of a person than he is a player. Good job. Hall of Fame.
I just want to thank you for allowing me to play in your league. I just want to say thanks to my dad, my Coach Mel, Coach Ali, Coach Alex, and my mom. And I've seen many more of me, not in this league, but in bigger and better places. Thank you again.
Next inductee, when we started this thing, you need to have a crazy guy on your team. And we have a guy that totally fills that role. When it comes down to it, anything that you need done, and the master motivator himself, and security, was our head of security, a fantastic player on the field, but moreover just a guy that, when it comes down to it, whether it's just if you talk to this player and really speak to him and get him to calm down so he doesn't get kicked out of this game, and maybe give him an example when you got kicked out of the game.
I know you got it. Don't say that. Don't say it about me. Don't say that, Earl.
This young man, it's an absolute pleasure to know him. And it's an even more pleasure to see him play. Jay Carter.
There you go.
So, I definitely do want to thank Pat and Miss Pat, because they brought me in when I really didn't have anybody or anything. And then from there, I definitely want to thank the Bronx coach, the Harlem Jets, for letting me coach and be an assistant. The Bronx coach for letting me embarrass this guy right here. I'm undefeated against him. This one too. All this thing.
But this for the kids. We do this for the kids.
Amen.
Amen.
Also, the best part about what we do is that the personality of these guys, you can't really script this type of thing. This is how these guys are. And the fact that their Hall of Fame induction ceremony is true to who these guys are, this is what makes our league so great. Our next guy, another personality that you really can't match. Ultimately, there's no league out there that can say that they have a guy like this. And one of the things that really set our league apart from anybody else was our media coverage. And the guy that was the face, unfortunately, of the Pioneer Football League. Every single week you would see him, and the man could go up to any coach or any player and make it look as though it was a serious, hard-hitting CBS interview, even if it's a little kid talking about how he would score a touchdown. The man cares about what he does, his passion's behind this thing, and it's an absolute honor to have this guy as part of the organization. Matt Otero, a.k.a.
Well, there you go.
First of all, it's an honor to be inducted into the Pioneer Football League Hall of Fame with such great members and Hall of Famers as Shamel Jackson, who is my brother, we've been cool for about, 3-4 years now, and, I feel like he is my brother, and, whenever I need help, he's always there to lend a good hand. JJ Carter, who, believe it or not, lives about
It's all about the weights.
Lift, right?
Lift.
I don't do any lifting. Used to live about 5 blocks away from me, and we never knew it. He ended up going to the same junior high school I did a couple years after, and the same high school after. So it's crazy how we ended up meeting up in this league in the Pioneer. Hey, John, that's the future right there. That's the future of the Harlem Jets, the future of the Pioneer. He made every game a must-see game. Since I've seen him, he made me Friday nights after work, calling out of work when I was doing my night job. I had to come see him play, guaranteed. Raphael, he's not here. He beat me for a championship, so actually, Raphael is a good player and he's well more deserved to be a part of this class. I used to play with him against when we were younger. For me, he was a whipstick and I was a Gator. But I want to thank my mom for dealing with me and everything, between the Gatorades, the injuries, the wins, the losses, and dealing with me for everything. Love her, and I want to thank Pat for everything. That's David Patterson right here, for everything he's done, for giving me the opportunity to let me interview a kid or let me coach a team, because I was a coach at one point at the PFL. So I want to thank him for everything, giving me the opportunity. And sometimes opportunities are disguised as hard work, so people don't use them. But I want to thank Pat for giving me that platform to do that. I owe a lot of myself to him, and I thank you for that, Pat. And also, I'm only say this once, you're one hell of a coach. So you got that on film. You got that on film. Because me and Pat fell out when we were younger, but we're all good now. I also want to thank one of my friends, Omar, for giving me the name Fridge. My name was originally going to be Flacco, but I don't think that was going to fit me very well. I want to thank all the old former teams I ever played for, the Bulldogs, the Harlem Gators, the New York Spartans, which is my first semi-pro team, and of course the Bronx Colts, which led me to be here where I am today. I thank all of them for giving me the opportunity. I started playing football. I only wish one thing right now, which I wish my grandmother was here. And she had passed about 10 years ago. And she's the reason why I started playing football, because at a young age, when I was 14, after she passed, I felt myself going in a self-destructive way, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I feel like football helped me, and football saved my life up to a certain point. And that's what for everybody else in the Pioneer Football League, I want to help everybody, and that was conclusive. The Pioneer Football League, we are a brotherhood. I've been to weddings, and I just want to help everybody. That's my main thing. This is one of the best football leagues, the best football league that you can put somebody into. Because none of these championships don't mean anything without a camaraderie of brotherhood and family. And that's what I have here since joining the Pioneer Football League. In conclusion, it is an honor, and I'm very thankful. And I appreciate everything, from any teammate to any player. I love you all. Thank you.
You got it. gentleman that's not here, one of our inductees, is Raphael Trammell. This kid, if you have not seen him play, you need to look back at some film. With the Brooklyn Rough Riders, won a championship in the first year of the Pioneer Football League. In the championship game where there was 2 touchdowns scored, he scored them both on kick returns. And everybody in the whole entire league knew that this particular guy, if you kick to him, he will return. I've never seen any player return kicks at like a 70 to 80% touchdown average. If that ball gets off the tee, you might as well get your kick return team ready. And Raphael could not be here tonight, but we definitely need to give him a round of applause. So that was definitely the first And for our last but not least inductee, this gentleman. There's so many things that I can say about this guy. The guy that is behind the scenes doesn't get a lot of the credit that he deserves because oftentimes he's behind the camera, not in front of the camera. And the same thing is on the football field. On the football field, a lot of times when you look back at the play, he's the one that made the difference in the play and caused other people to really have success. Whenever you ask this guy to do something, he's going to do it. He might sit there and give you a look or joke about it or what have you, but at the end of the day, you know that it's going to get done. On time, maybe not. But
there you go.
It definitely will get done.
3 days later.
This guy is the future of the Pioneer Football League. He ended up being the first commissioner of the Pioneer Football League, aside from myself. I even trusted him to watch my child for the first year of his existence. That's how much faith and trust I have in this guy. And above all else, an amazing human being, Shamel Jackson.
Well, a word that Pat uses a lot in the Pioneer Football League is brotherhood. I've learned that as a player and a coach that this thing goes way beyond football. I've met a lot of people that I'll never forget. I've made a bunch of amazing friendships that you can't even get in another lifetime. Like Dejan, our families actually grew up together. I've known him since I was at least 12. He's been playing under me for a lot of years. I've been watching him play. Jay Carter, known him my whole life. This football thing brought us closer together. Fridge. He's Fridge. No, we actually met through this football thing, and he's one of my favorite people I've ever met. Through this whole thing, like I said, it's a brotherhood. It goes far beyond football. I learned that as a coach, you eventually become a counselor, a father, an uncle. Everything that kid needs, you become that. And I definitely want to thank Mr. Patterson for creating this league and giving us the chance to do what we do every weekend. And thank you, sir.
Here you go.
So just so you know that these are the first inductees to the Pioneer Football League Hall of Fame. These are kind of like cornerstones, again, to what we do. And from here, the ones that will induct the next 5 are these gentlemen right here. In order to be in the Pioneer Football League, you must no longer be active in what you were nominated or, at this point, inducted for. So these gentlemen have played, and now their playing days are over. Although you will see them in the front office of teams or in the league in general, the contribution that they had on the field is no longer there. So what you will see in future years, probably as soon as next year, is some 14-year-olds, some 15-year-olds that just graduated from our lower divisions, who may be playing in high schools, playing in colleges, and what have you, are no longer playing Pioneer ball. Some of our coaches who may be retiring or what have you, those guys are all up for nominations and are all able to be inducted to the Pioneer League Hall of Fame. But we definitely want to get some recognition for the guys that really get this thing done. Our trustees, our front office guys, our executive board, all these guys really make this thing move and make this thing work. So for the final class, give one final round of applause for these guys. Thank you for your work. Wear those jackets proudly and continue to represent Pioneer football.
When he was the fringe. Now we have the inaugural class of Hall of Famers. Who do you think should be in the second class?
Second class of Hall of Famers will have to be a few people worthy. Honestly, I don't have all 5 people that I can think of at the moment, because that kind of put me on the spot. But if I can just off the bat, it would have to be. You have to start number 1 with the person who made the most difference made the most plays and made the most difference on your team. A player that without him, I don't think they would succeed. And that would have to be TJ from the Bronx Colts. My second pick would have to be a strong force in a role of their championship team. And he's the reason why they won their second championship. And that would be Big Mike. Michael Urbanez, I'm sorry if I slaughtered the name. Michael Urbanez, Big 33 from the Harlem Jets.
We're here with Jamal Carter, one of the inductees from the inaugural Hall of Fame for the Pioneer Football League. Can we get your opinion of who you think would be in the next class?
This might sound a little crazy. I gotta go with Coach Black. Why? Because for the last 5 years, matter of fact, not even 5 years, when we was in the PFL, Coach Black had the #1 defense. Like, he gave me 22 plays, and we only ran 4. And we dominated the whole PFL with 4. He has to go into the Hall of Fame. That man is a genius, man. He took the talent, he worked around it, we made money, man. I played everything from the D-line to linebacker to safety. Then after that, I got to go with TJ. TJ, he's an amazing quarterback. I got to go with TJ. After that, I would have to go with Coach Tony from the Bobcat. Even through everything he's been through, that man has still been pushing.
Here with President Richard Hernandez. You saw the inaugural class of Hall of Famers. Who would you think would make the second year, in your opinion?
Well, obviously me. No. First of all, congratulations to all the recipients of today's award. We want to congratulate the new Hall of Fame inductees, especially our commissioner. We look forward to nominating a lot more of the players all around the league. But it takes a little bit more than just luck to get in. Hard work, commitment, dedication. Talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week on Pioneer Football League Sportscenter Hall of Fame edition. We want to again say congratulations to all of our honorees. Great job, and thank you for your tireless effort. We also have, going this week, our final week of the Modell's promotion. Make sure you go out to Modell's with your Pioneer Football League coupon. Save money on all of your sporting good needs, and make sure that you support Pioneer football. Thank you so much, and enjoy your week.